you go to war with yourself? How you gonna hold all that pain?
Hello, everyone. Super excited for today. We have a lot of you starting on your loading days this weekend, which is going to be fabulous. So remember to just take a moment, kind of share what you're grateful for. Being grateful is very important, and that shifts our body into a parasympathetic state and a thankful state and just raises our overall vibration. So celebrate a win, how much you've released, inches that you've lost, more energy, better sleep. All of those things can be very great to just acknowledge that they've happened and be grateful for them. We're going to start today with a little bit more mindful breathing. So just remembering to incorporate this into your daily routine, because that's going to help shift your body into parasympathetic. It's going to help you be less reactive. It's going to help you be less angry and just calm the overall nervous system to not instantly just be triggered by something to react. A good way to do that is through a physiological sigh. So that's literally an audible sigh. So taking a breath in and just letting that out. So I'm going to walk you through a way to do that. So we do the physiological sigh to shift from a sympathetic state to a parasympathetic state. So this is also really beneficial if you have a hard time meditating, because there are some people that can just not meditate. I'm going to pause my music here just to make sure that you can hear me okay. So if you have a hard time meditating, a physiological sigh is a good way to kind of prep your nervous system to get in that resting state and to calm down. So the longer we exhale, the more parasympathetic we become. So we want to be in the parasympathetic state to promote that healing and repair in the body. So your exhale should be longer than your inhale. So also another way to shift more parasympathetic is to breathe through your nose. So we don't want to be mouth breathing. You want to make sure your mouth is closed when you're breathing, because that actually mouth breathing is the number one or a very high cause of cavities. I want to say the statistics like 80%. If you mouth breathe, that cavities will occur. So that is a very interesting fact to me. So short, shallow breathing. So if you're just breathing in just a little bit, not very much, you're breathing a lot and your breaths are really shallow, you're not filling up all of your lungs, that really makes you sympathetic dominant. And that's harder to clear out CO2. So you're retaining a lot of that CO2 because your lungs aren't exhaling all the way. And essentially, the less we want to get in a state where we breathe less. So when you're doing those short, shallow breaths all the time, that is not serving your body very well. That keeps you sympathetic. When we do longer breaths, we actually inhale fully and deeply. You inhale for 6 seconds, exhale for 6 seconds, get in that rhythm. We actually give more oxygen to our tissues, and that promotes healing in the body. It's called the Bohr effect. So thankfully, our body holds on to oxygen because our mitochondria would actually die after 5 seconds of not getting oxygen. So there's a lot of mitochondria in the brain. So that's when you hear of like brain death in people, their body is alive, but their brain is not. So good thing that our body, for every breath we take, we have 5 extra breaths because that holds on to all of the oxygen to be able to get throughout our body. So we want to shift our body to breathe less, essentially, and that will actually help improve our oxygenation, which is a weird concept to think about. So we are going to practice the physiological sigh. So I'm going to walk you through this. Put my music back on. So I want you to sit up, nice comfortable position, kind of close your eyes, and just take a few cleansing breaths. So you're going to inhale fully and exhale fully. So if you want to breathe in through your nose and exhale through your mouth, that is okay. So we'll just take a few cleansing breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. So even just those few breaths really help calm your body down. So your body uses your breath to teach things. So that's kind of a signature into how well your nervous system is functioning. So our nervous system changes our breath to change our state. So when you do the physiological sigh, it's kind of giving a signal to your nervous system saying we're safe, like this is okay. So deep breath. I want you to take a deep breath in and out again, get in that relaxed state, sit up straight, calm your body, a couple deep breaths, and then I'm going to walk you through the physiological sigh. So deep breath in, sit up straight, really ground your body. Exhale out. One more deep breath in. And exhale out. Now we are going to practice the physiological sigh. So I want you to take a very deep breath, go into the belly, through your nose, into your lungs. You're going to take a few more sips through your mouth at the top. Hold it. Squeeze your pelvic floor. And then with an audible sigh, I'm going to count to 3. You're going to let it out. So 1, 2, 3. You kind of open your mouth for the audible sigh. So another deep breath in. And through your lungs, your belly, your nose, through your chest. Take a few more sips. Hold it. Squeeze your pelvic floor. On the count to 3, you're going to let it out. 1, 2, 3. Again, in through your nose. Deep breath into your belly, into your lungs, into your chest. A couple more sips. Hold it. Squeeze your pelvic floor. Count to 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm doing it one more time. Deep breath in, through your belly, through your lungs, fill up your chest. A couple more sips. Hold it. Squeeze your pelvic floor. And sigh it out on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Now I want you to take the deepest breath you've taken all day. Filling up your lungs completely, filling up your belly. And I count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Let it all the way out. Completely exhale your lungs all the way out. Now find your normal breathing pattern. You're going to keep your tongue at the roof of your mouth with the tip of your tongue right behind your front teeth. And I want you to get used to breathing in the pattern of inhaling for 6 and exhaling for 6. So inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then exhale, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the fastest way to slow down aging is actually by slowing down your breath. You're not going to be retaining CO2. You oxygenate your body better. So the average person consumes 1,200 calories a day just breathing. So if you actually equate that out and get down to 6 breaths a minute, you can conserve hundreds of calories a day, which actually leads you to eating less, and you're really focusing on those nutrient dense foods and having that fasting window and staying in that parasympathetic state. Oh, I feel very relaxed now, and I hope you do too. All right, so we are going to dive in to today. I'm going to share my screen here. So today we're going to talk about understanding the release phase, what to eat and why. So talking about the first 42 days. So this is the release phase, which a lot of you are in currently. So the purpose of the release phase. So why is it 42 days? So it's scientifically designed to reset your metabolism by focusing on the non-essential fat stores. So our body also stores toxins in fat. So it's smart because it's like, I'm not going to keep these toxins next to my organs. I'm going to push it in the fat because it's safer there and it's not going to hurt the organs there. So our body's smart that way, but keep in mind when you're burning off that fat, that also releases a lot of toxins. So it's crucial to add in lots of water. So a minimum of half your body weight in ounces a day is ideal. And you can even drink more than that. You can also put a quarter teaspoon of Redmond's real salts with your distilled water in about 500 mils. That's a great way to replenish from the salt wasting that occurs when you're doing the reset. Because when you burn through all that fat, you actually burn through a lot of you salt waste. So you release a lot of salt, and we need to replenish those stores too. Starting your day with 20 ounces of water, even if you do a little bit of warm lemon water, that really helps to flush out the small intestine, healing for the gut, and just rehydrate your cells because all night long they do get dehydrated. So rehydrating that water to your cells. So a fun fact here, the time frame of the 42 days, it ensures the body has enough time to shift from storing fat to burning it for energy while also protecting muscle. So this isn't going to muscle waste you. This is targeting the fat stores. So if you kind of think of it this way, if you release 30 pounds, how much stronger will you be not carrying around that 30 pounds every day? And instead, say you lift weights. Do you think that you'd be able to lift 30 extra pounds right now? Probably not. Do you think that once you release the 30 pounds, you'll be able to lift more? Probably, because you're going to just be getting stronger for your body. So the body does reach a balance where hormones and metabolism align, setting the foundation for long-term weight stability. So this is creating that new metabolic set point. So we want to reach that metabolic set point. And one of the clients today actually mentioned about the Renko scale and how it shows your metabolic age. So I encourage all of you to look at your metabolic age on the Renko scale and see where you're at in taking your current age into consideration too. So also looking at sleep, because that does play a critical role in regulating the hormones leptin and ghrelin that affect how hungry or how full you feel. So prioritizing sleep is important. There is mouth tape that's included in your package. So it's a little roll of 3M paper tape. I encourage you to try mouth taping at night while you're sleeping because it does improve sleep scores. That helps you sleep better. There's actually a link to mouth taping and having you not have to go to the bathroom as much in the middle of the night. So put just one strip up and down. So from your nose kind of to the bottom of your lip, and just put one little strip there. If you can see my face, just one strip this way. Don't go hardcore and go this way. One strip this way. Then that way, if you do like get congested in the middle of the night or have to open your mouth or have to talk to someone, you still can open your mouth and it's not actually taped shut. So mouth taping sounds kind of scary to some people, but just do one strip up and down that way. So the approved foods list, so low carb, low glycemic foods. So those are essential to help prevent insulin spikes and which trigger the fat storage. So when you're constantly spiking and dropping all day long, your body just stores a lot of that and we don't want to do that. Focusing on lean proteins, veggies, and low sugar fruits. So you'll notice like bananas aren't included, grapes aren't included in the fruits. There are certain fruits when they're in season, they have a higher sugar content. So we want to stay away from those foods. And that would be things like nectarines, peaches, pears. So May 15th through October 15th, you don't want to be focusing on those foods. We are out of that time frame now. It's October 23rd today, actually, so we don't have to worry about that. And then another fact, low glycemic foods help you stabilize your blood sugar, keeping cravings under control and promoting the fat loss. So we want to stabilize that blood sugar and not have those spikes throughout the day, because those spikes are what make you feel kind of crummy. So how the release phase targets fat. So targeting non-essential fat stores. So it focuses on burning the non-essential fat, which is stored around the organs and under the skin. And oftentimes women store a lot of it in their abdomen too. And we want to release that. That's usually the most pesky fat that women don't like. So most diets usually fail to address. And this is what makes the release phase different, because it's really targeting those specific non-essential fat stores. So, and by shifting your lifestyle, your habits, and calming the nervous system, which does create lasting effects, because when you calm that nervous system down, your body is able to heal and repair like it should. We cannot heal and repair when we're stressed and in a high stress state all the time. Our body needs to shift to that parasympathetic. So protein, veggies, and fruits, kind of how to structure your meals. So the protein helps maintain your muscle mass while supporting the fat loss. We do need protein to heal and repair. So looking at more of the lean sources of protein, so chicken, fish, plant-based options if needed, grass-fed beef, just picking cuts that aren't really full of fat, because the higher we're focusing on not having any fats while in the release phase, so we can turn on our fat burning stores. The veggies, so nutrient and low calorie options like leafy greens, broccoli, and cauliflower. So you can also do green beans. There is a lot of approved veggies on the list too. Brussels sprouts, carrots. I do want to make a note with carrots that instead of the 4 ounces of carrots, you're only going to do 3. You can also have peas, pumpkins in season right now. So that would be another option. So there's a lot of approved veggies on that list. Fruits, sticking to low sugar fruits like berries and green apples. Green apples actually have less sugar than a red apple. So the other thing with berries, you don't have to just stick with one. Like you can do a mix. You can do berries, raspberries, blueberries, just mix them together and kind of give yourself a little bit of a variety. I encourage eating fruits at the end of the meal, because that kind of helps satisfy that sweet tooth and just put the good ending to your meal. So meal timing and portion sizes. So the fasting window is going to be a little bit different for you guys right now, because you probably personalized your window a little bit, but 10 to 6 right now is a good time frame. Keep in mind that once daylight savings time rolls around, you don't really want to eat after it's dark out, because when it's dark out, our body shifts into, it's time to go to sleep. It's time to calm down. It's time to rest. And we don't want to be digesting food right before we go to bed. That does not promote healthy sleep cycles. So keeping that in mind when daylight savings rolls around, to try and shift your fasting window a little bit so you're not eating when it's dark out. So with the release phase, you're usually eating 2 meals per day. So if you're breaking your fast at 10 o'clock, then you might be eating your meal at 10 o'clock and you're ending your fast at 6. So maybe you eat dinner at 5. So just proper portion sizes. Do weigh out your food, because you're probably not eating enough of each item. And 4 ounces of veggies can actually look like a lot on your plate, whereas before, without measuring it, you may not have taken that much. So another fact, fasting during the release phase supports hormone regulation, which promotes more efficient fat loss, because we need to regulate the hormones in order to release that weight too. And in the future too, we'll talk about incorporating in some longer fasts. So longer fasts may be beneficial for you. When you hit a 16 to 18 hour fasting window where you're not eating, your body actually activates what's called autophagy. So autophagy is when all of your old damaged cells get recycled and replaced. if we're never hitting that autophagy state, those damaged cells just keep cycling around our body. And we do not want damaged cells cycling around. That's usually what leads to issues. So hitting that autophagy state of 16 to 18 hours of not eating is beneficial to recycle those old cells. So if you have any favorite meal or food prep tips, feel free to share them in our group chat. So some of the go-to meals for me personally was I really enjoyed some burrito bowls. So you can do that with cauliflower rice, put a little bit of Mexican seasoning on it. You can make homemade pico de gallo. That's with all of the free veggies. I would put spinach in there and chicken, and what else did I put in there? I would switch up the seasoning so it wasn't the same flavored burrito bowl every time. But that was a really easy meal prep that I could do for the week for work. So batch cooking proteins and veggies, that helps you ensure that you're not ever stuck without a healthy option. So if you take a sheet pan, which I really like the Our Place pans because they don't require any oils, but you could take a sheet pan, put it in the oven with your, chicken and all your veggies and just cook it all at once. And then find some containers where you can kind of portion control it. I have little rectangle Pyrex glass containers that actually held 4 ounces of protein and 4 ounces of veggies very well, which made it easy to meal prep throughout the week too. And just keeping in mind, we're staying away from oils during the release phase. So using bone broth or water instead. A steamer pan is also a great way to reheat the food instead of using a microwave, because microwaves really break down the food and all the nutrients. So staying away from microwaves is ideal. So if you have a pan and you put the steamer basket in it, a little bit of water, you can throw your protein and your veggies in there and reheat it quite fast on the stove in just a couple minutes. So some common mistakes to avoid. So you don't want to be skipping meals or under eating. This leads to slowing down your metabolism, and that's what can lead to muscle loss because we're not giving the body the protein that it needs. Try not to be snacking on any unapproved foods because that's going to make your blood sugar levels go up and down, and that will also decrease your fat loss. And then overeating healthy foods. So even approved foods must be portion controlled to avoid overeating. So that is why we have the food scale, and that is why we encourage you to measure out your food. So some shopping tips. So prioritizing fresh whole foods like lean meats, fish, eggs, and a variety of veggies. So if you do steam your veggies and you're on a budget, it is a little bit more cost effective to have frozen veggies. Make a list of approved foods before shopping to avoid impulse buys that could derail your progress. So a good way to get around this is to take a picture of your card and have it in your phone. So then when you're at the grocery store, you know if something is approved or not. I'll also mention that pickles are approved. They're not specifically listed on the free veggies. Cucumbers are, sauerkraut is. So pickles are a good go-to because they do have that salt, especially for the salt wasting, and that can help satisfy that salty craving if you're having any salty cravings. So some cooking techniques for success. So using simple cooking methods such as grilling, steaming, or roasting to retain nutrients and flavor. So trying to stay away from the microwave. And then if you have an air fryer, if you have not air fried a steak yet, you need to air fry a steak because it keeps the outside crispy and the inside perfect. You can put a meat thermometer. I have one of those meat thermometers that has like the cord on it, so it comes out of the air fryer. And when it hits like 135, I shut the air fryer off, and that is like a perfect medium steak. And it's juicy and it's delicious. So I just want to kind of bring up this testimonial here to keep you guys motivated here. So this is Christina, who's a busy mom, 3 kids. She's a nutritionist, thought she was doing all of the right things. She gained 20 to 30 pounds, had eczema, low energy and fatigue, restless sleep, and has tried multiple various diets in the past. So she released 27 pounds in 10 weeks. So which led to her increased energy, more deeper, restful sleep. Her eczema disappeared. She had a more stable mood, deeper connection with her kids, and felt more calm and grounded. So this is my encouragement to you to take pictures and document how far you've come, because you're really going to look back and appreciate the progress you've seen. it is easy to be like, I don't want to take my picture. I'm not happy. Like, I don't want to do it, but I encourage you to do it because it is so motivating and uplifting to see how far you have come. So here's some tips on how to stay motivated during the release phase. So keeping a food journal to track your progress so you can enter your data into Practice Better. If you go to your home screen, there's a little plus sign in the bottom corner. You can click that. You can click for make a free form entry. And this is an easy way to track your food. So if you put your food in Practice Better, I'll be able to better guide you and direct you on your program because I can see what's going into your body and how you're progressing along with your weight and your measurements too. And your water. Track your water because oftentimes people do think they're drinking enough water, and when you really write it down, you're not. So try and track your water so you can see what that water intake is throughout the day. And the water is also helping to flush out the toxins from burning all the fat. So you want to flush that out so you're not toxin overloading your body either. So with the freeform entry, you can just type in, 4 ounces of raspberries, 4 ounces of chicken, 4 ounces of peppers, and you can type it all in and it'll populate it. You don't have to pick each individual food. And this was a really big game changer in Practice Better when that changed. So celebrate small wins. So it might be you slept better. It might be you lost some inches. You might have lost a pound. You might be feeling more energized. You might have realized like, hey, I haven't been super angry with anyone anymore. I haven't snapped on my kids. Like celebrate those small wins because it brings your body into a state of gratitude. Stay connected with your community. So we do have the group chat in Practice Better. You can always reach out to me. We want to make sure that if you need encouragement, that we're here for you. So it's about progress, not about perfection. If you feel like you fell off the wagon, jump back on. We're here to support you along the way. And then reach out to me if you're watching this on recording and let me know if there's any Q&As that you have or any way that I can help support you. All right. I hope you all have a fabulous day and keep it up with your reset.